Colonel Cameron, Kathy here, and she's in Corona, so that's here
There's
too.
a star. Looks like she put a star there.
Yeah, star, yeah. And we're in Sarnia, Maryland.
Yes, we are.
And Deniece is in Toronto.
And I've hit the record button. I'm going to turn my video off. I'll stick around here, but I'll let you take over the sharing, Ben.
Okay. Let me share my screen here with everyone. So hello, welcome. We are so excited to be here tonight online or some other time when people are watching this on demand later on. We are going to work on this, which is a series of 5 webinars. This is the first one, supporting the revised health and physical education curriculum in Ontario. That's occurred here within the 2019-20 school year. This is session 1. It's an overview of the curriculum changes. And Mary Lynn's going to read our territorial acknowledgement.
So before we begin, we will do our local territorial acknowledgement, which we do before all of our sessions. We acknowledge that the land on which we are gathered is part of the traditional territory of the Chippewa, Odawa, Potawatomi, and Delaware nations. Thank you. Thanks,
Mary Lynn. So we have a special guest on the webinar with us. Mary Lynn Anderson, though, is with me from the Lambton-Kent District School Board. So we're so happy that you're with us, Mary Lynn, and I'm Ben, and I work in the program department as well with the Lambton-Kent School Board. Mary Lynn is the system coordinator for student achievement, and I'm the superintendent for early years and elementary program. But Deniece Bell is with us, and I'm going to get rid of my sharing here so you can take over this. Let's see.
And we're very excited to have Deniece from OPHEA come in and talk to us about the changes that have happened in the phys ed health, particularly health curriculum.
Yes.
So take it away, Deniece.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me here. I'm going to share my screens. So what I would like to do is just reiterate that this is one series. The first one is general information, just to share what exactly is different. I work with OPHEA. I'm an educator as well from the Peel District School Board. And we welcome anybody to share information as you see fit. And from that point on, I can speak to, if there are any questions that arise, what you might need support with. Okay. Our goals for today's session, to help everybody understand the curriculum updates, increase your awareness of the resources that exist out there. We have many through the OPHEA website. And just an opportunity to share if there's anything else in future webinars I can support you with or assist you with and provide for you throughout the next 4. Okay. But in 2019, the elementary health and phys ed curriculum was updated, and it was for implementation in September. Okay. And if I'm speaking too quickly, please just yell out. And
oh, we will.
That's right. Regis and Kelly.
That's right. Hey now.
So we'll keep going through. OPHEA's vision, if you don't know about it, is the health and phys ed education curriculum is based the fact that knowledge and skills that students in the program will benefit them throughout their lives. They'll be able to thrive in an ever-changing world and develop mental health and well-being, physical and health literacy, comprehension, capacity, and commitment they'll need to lead healthy, active lives and promote healthy, active living. We were just chit-chatting before, and I think it's really important to note that, like many other subjects, we'll see it through our entire lives. And we just talked about the Zamboni driver, physical literacy, and being able to compete at an NHL level, even though that isn't his current profession.
Mm-hmm.
So the overview of the health and phys ed curriculum I'm going to use my little marker, my laser pointer, and show you that this has not changed from the 2015 curriculum, except for the outside right here, which is now labeled social and emotional learning. Okay? In the past, it was called living skills.
Mhm.
Right now, it's referred to as social emotional learning skills. Okay. The importance behind that is that it helps you to understand that it's a part of the other three strands: active living, healthy living, and movement competence.
Mhm.
So at all times, there's going to be an opportunity for you to embed social emotional. Okay.
Mhm.
The idea is to make connections, and the 2019 curriculum identifies the expectations for each grade, and it describes the skills that students are expected to acquire, demonstrate, and apply in everything that they do. Okay. Any questions so far?
I like that social emotional learning. I think that talks to a wider view of our students in general.
Okay. Wonderful. And you'll see there is overlap, and teachers, I think, will realize that they're already doing that. If there's a little bit of fear behind the implementation, probably being done as just good practice.
Mm-hmm.
The goals of the elementary health and phys ed curriculum. Again, this is the specificity of the strand that is changed. The social emotional learning skills needed to foster overall health and well-being, positive mental health, and the ability to learn, build resilience, and thrive. Mental health is specifically addressed in this new curriculum, although it was touched on in 2015. Okay. Here we have the equal symbol because this is the same, and then go through. The next two strands are also the same. Just looking back because I have two screens now. Okay. This curriculum was established on 5 fundamental principles. And it's very similar to what has been done in the 2019 curriculum. So I just wanted to highlight a little clip. You can see those 5 principles.
I think with especially the 2015 curriculum, having those fundamental principles there that are going to help staff and students to sort of guide why we're doing what we're doing and how should that look in a school.
Those life skills are interwoven amongst the expectations and amongst the units, and I think that's so key because that shows you it doesn't have to be separate. It's all together. The material we're teaching our students is going to help them be better citizens of our whole community. That's the key.
I read it and I'm actually really excited for it. I find it's very inclusive. It's very modern and progressive for the community that we live in, especially here in Canada, being multicultural.
That it's really revolutionary because I think that it really reaches into not just now in the 21st century, but what our students will need for a very long time to come.
C'est amusant parce que ça te fait bouger et c'est bon pour la santé.
Okay. So that is a clip just to highlight the importance of the principles for me as an educator, and the fact that it's asking you to think, how do we get all students to participate? Are you providing differentiated opportunities? And are the activities chosen relevant to the population that you're working with? In Brampton, I have a lot of students that are interested in cricket. don't know the first thing about cricket, but I had to learn in an effort to make those connections for the students. Question? No? Okay. Here you have the overall and specific expectations laid out in grid format. And I know it's difficult to see, so I am going to bring that up for you in another view. So again, you can see strand A, social emotional learning, and the 5.6 points, sorry. And it's the umbrella for active living, competence, and healthy living, okay? It just allows you to see what I need to support my planning, and the overall expectations are described in general terms, the knowledge and the skill that students are expected to demonstrate. Okay. And then the specific expectations, very much like the other curricula that are out there, describe the expected knowledge in greater detail. Okay, so I like this. I usually have this part, and just to share that with everybody. Okay. The updates to the specific expectations. Mental health, including the social learning, emotional learning skills, concussions, the effects and consequences of vaping and cannabis, as well as cyber safety, healthy eating and body image, and healthy relationships, including consent. So again, these were somewhat addressed in the 2015 curriculum, but in reviewing it, there was just a slightly different lens that was taken to acknowledge the last 4 years that have seen an increase in certain trends. Concussion, there are some resources on the OPHEA website that are provided.
It's really true how the how like with things like cannabis and concussions is significant as well. Like it's how, you know, and obviously cyber safety and consent, like these are things that I think the current zeitgeist at the time, like the current flavor of our world has changed, and perceptions have changed about each of those things. I just quickly highlighted things that just stood out there, Deniece, that you had shared.
Yes, and we had a new Canada Food Guide released in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this was very timely, and there's an all gender binary approach applied in the curriculum. So you'll see they more often than you see girls, boys, he and she. Yeah. And I will speak to that in greater detail. And when we examine the next through the next 3 webinars.
So gender is super important in this conversation, and especially as it relates to different divisions. We'll get into that. I think the thing I'd never thought of the same way was also the idea around the food guide changing. You know, like, you know, certain things have been in the media more than others. The food guide in the new curriculum wasn't in the media the same amount, Deniece.
It definitely was. So an example of what that looks like, the teacher prompts that are provided in the curriculum on page 256, having sex has risks too, including the possibility of getting sexually transmitted and bloodborne infections, or becoming a parent when you don't want to. And in the old curriculum, it used to say STIs, which STBBI is now aligned with Health Canada. Okay. And it used to read, become pregnant. So that made it the sole responsibility of females. Saying become a parent, it acknowledges that there's a responsibility for both partners. It seems like a subtle change, but if that is delivered, it has the potential to change the way we as a society interact and treat each other and view each other.
Yeah, very important. I like that a lot, Deniece, the change in that one. Even though it's subtle, it is really an important change that was made there.
Great. So strand A, social emotional learning skills. It helps students develop their positive mental health, ability to learn, building resilience, and thriving. So if we had a little bit more time and I did not have to reshuffle, I would have said, what does social emotional learning mean to you? You got 2 seconds. You're welcome to share.
What does it mean to you?
Social emotional learning skills. So when I first heard it, as you were speaking earlier, Deniece, I was thinking about our learning skills on the report card, and that this ties to it, because there are things like self-regulation and trying to think of some of the other ones.
Collaboration,
they don't all, but they do.
Initiative.
Yeah, they do sort of tie into the report card, which is already there. So I was thinking it would be a nice connection actually for people. So
I was thinking about the resilience of students, right? Like that social emotional learning is like, how do we social, obviously interacting with others, and the emotional, like how that makes me feel. So there's that part of like how we interact within ourselves, but also how we interact within the world, and the resilience and grit and all those things that are required, that we all have different places we come to for those perspectives.
Excellent. Yeah, that's fantastic, because I think the big idea, regardless of the subject matter that you're teaching, is that you can be implementing social emotional learning. And in the case of health and physical education, creating that space for students to thrive and create coping strategies and help each other.
And Tammy in the chat room says, giving students the opportunity to thrive as whole beings. Whole beings. I like that. That is, and to feel actually used in their interaction with peers and caring adults in this their school community. So I like that. That's thanks, Tammy.
thank you.
Actualized. Sorry, feeling actualized in their interactions. I was like, I was aware of the other part there, but I'll read it again. So Tammy's saying we talked about giving students the opportunity to thrive as whole beings, which is wonderful, and to feel fully actualized in their interactions with peers and caring adults in their school community. Thanks, Tammy.
Yeah, thank you. So OPHEA has worked with, I'm going to close that chat. The Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. So, and they define SEL as the process through which children and adults understand and manage emotions. They set and achieve positive goals. They feel and show empathy for others. They establish and maintain positive relationships and make responsible decisions. So it's an opportunity for many people to give their perspective on SEL. And as a result of that, OPHEA has framed theirs in the following: identification and management of emotions, management and coping, positive motivation and perseverance, healthy relationships, self-awareness and sense of identity, critical and creative thinking. So it's not completely different from learning skills, because they do have the self-awareness of how to do and how to create and how to cope. On page 26 of the curriculum, there is also a great chart that exists. So again, use your resource.
It almost seems like learning skills 2.0. Like I love these. I was gonna point out one, but I think I can't point out one, because each one of them have such relevance to what I think we hope for our students, hope for ourselves.
And like you have noted, Ben, that you have a very large demographic, and so it will look different in different parts of your board, of the school board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Social emotional learning skills here. This is an example that you'll find in the document. with stress management and what that could look like. So applying skills and active living with phys ed, they could manage different components of fitness. It might be doing the activity or the length of the activity. If you think about the FIT principle, the frequency, the intensity, the type, or the time, DPA. Movement competence would be actually thinking about and visualizing a long jump in track and field. And for healthy living, explaining daily habits. And strategies might not be enough. So for some individuals, professional help might be needed. In the curriculum, you'll find tags. And it's just an opportunity for a quick glance and show you where you can reinforce the ideas, the learning for social emotional learning. I'm just going to restate that strand A in 2015 was living skills, and here it's social emotional learning skills. And there are many similarities and concepts, but it just reflects, as we discussed, the current climate that we exist in 2019. Okay. How are we doing on time?
Doing good.
All right. Okay, strand B, active living. 3 subgroups: active participation, physical fitness, and safety. Key changes here: connection with physical and mental health, as well as concussions. And get my little pointer back out. Like this, Ron. Thank you. Right here and through here. And OPAS is the physical safety standards for OPHEA, and it's the bare minimum that is required of safety for students. Okay. Movement competence is composed of skills, concepts, and strategies. And I'm going to go to the curriculum for this one so you can actually see. It's located on page 33. What I will do is also put the link in the chat so that folks can just access it very quickly.
Check.
So, movement skills and concepts, in addition to movement strategies, allows the student to share and show their movement competence. Okay, stability, locomotion, manipulation, the concepts of body awareness, spatial awareness, effort, relationship, putting it all together to appreciate activities, game structures, how to make decisions, applying your skills, and a final performance. It is important to note for movement skills and concepts, strategies, and competence. And I say this to the students that I work with. We play basketball from grade 4 to grade 12. So what is the difference? And how do you know that you're making improvements? And that's that we're looking to see their tactical awareness. Are they understanding the game, where to position themselves?
Absolutely.
Are they able to move better than they did in grade 4? So they might be a little bit clumsy, and then they have better, more proprioception and sense of where they are in space, as a few examples of movement competence. Any questions there?
I like that idea of how movement competence, and it just changes over time. And that you have the same activity you're doing, in grade 4, and then it's a different type of activity on the type of competence we are experiencing when you're doing that in grade 10 or grade 11, when you're playing, like your example, basketball, when you're playing basketball. It's just because you're combining more things. You're changing your tactics. You're moving your center of gravity. You're doing different parts of those movement competence skills.
That's great. And it also shows you where you could insert social emotional skills when you go actually into the curriculum. So the updates to specific expectations. Some examples here. We discussed being angry or upset and losing focus. So learning that you impact other folks. Relationship skills and a sense of belonging for social emotional learning. Practicing one-on-one or when you're in a small group and understanding how to interact with those individuals. I have quite a few students that say, I don't enjoy phys ed. And then you allow them that opportunity to find their skill or sport, or it might be yoga, whatever it is, then they are able to be more successful and lead others. Last strand, healthy living. A lot of a variety of concepts here. Bullying, including cyberbullying, the food guide that we discussed, cannabis, and the fact that it's legislated, concussions again, consent, pornography, online safety, and STBBS, as well as vaping, sorry. So many things that I don't know how these young people manage, and that is what we are doing our very best to provide it in age-appropriate, evidence-informed learning. Because there's so many things that other generations did not have to deal with.
That's so true.
Yes.
This is just a random question, but do you know how familiar with some of the staff, how familiar some of the staff are with these new concepts?
So I think it just depends. So in a lot of our schools, some of their health units have provide support on some of the topics. We've had some multidisciplinary team meetings within our district that have discussed things like cannabis, vaping. So it really, there's a wide variety of exposure to different topics, but a wide variety of different ways that people might have access to their knowledge and probably knowledge in general across our district. Folks really want to do the best they can to bring, the most relevant and helpful information into the curriculum. So there've been a lot of different areas that way. There's been a lot of work though through the multidisciplinary teams across our district.
That's fantastic. The health topic in Strand D that has been added is the mental health literacy, and webinar 5 is completely devoted to that. And School Mental Health Ontario, they have quite a few resources that the link will be provided for you all to post, and access will be easier for teachers and support staff and parents to access.
Yeah.
It's really important. Okay. There are also some great resources from CAMH, illness and addiction. Okay. The statistic that CAMH has is 70% of mental health problems begin in childhood or adolescence. And so the social emotional learning strand allows us to help students learn about this and notice and support students who may be struggling, and then providing them with support. So we are not professionals, but we do wear a lot of different hats. I think feeling equipped and confident to help students is the goal here.
and knowing our role and what we can do, and then how we can help students build awareness and teach and learn without being clinical or a diagnostician. It's really, this is a way to provide these supports from an education perspective.
Yes. We stay within your scope of practice. The team that can support you best.
Yes.
So this is a beautiful little chart that has horizontal and vertical learning. Okay, so you can go by topic, or you can connect broad ideas, which when you talked about your integrated teams, be some overlap for those teams to say, let's look at the big idea here. How can we make healthy decisions using that model across a variety of topics? For example, I'm at a party and I have to deal with substance abuse. I'm going to a restaurant and I'm in competition mode. So what is a nutritious choice that's going to fuel me versus just being out at a birthday party and wanting to indulge? So that would be the vertical learning. The horizontal learning is focusing on healthy eating across the board. Okay. So I really like that chart.
Yeah, it's a great chart.
It reminded me of you, Ben, last year getting ready for your marathon.
Oh yes,
And the eating that your eating habits during that time while you were preparing were very serious.
Very serious,
and
very focused on nutrition. I was not indulging in much of the cake, I'll tell you that much. I remember running that Ragnar race, which is a relay race that was a trail in by Barrie, and you ran overnight. And you run, and you had to come back to fuel yourself. So you had to be so intentional about your eating choices to give yourself the right mix of fuel and salts and caffeine. And how are you? So like it went across all of these type of things. As like when you talk about the making healthy choices, that vertical, you certainly were making vertical choices there, Deniece.
Yeah, and then horizontal, exactly. And so teachers will find that at times being focused on the topic is great, and deciding, no, I want to cover the decision-making model, so it will address a number of issues. And I won't spend a lot of time here, but things for you to think about in planning are going to the appendices. We have great tools, tips, and ideas for each of the strands. And if you get an opportunity, just running some copies, or having, I think I like to do the jigsaw method, and sitting down with your team to figure out how we plan a few different weeks or assignments, and then help each other out. Okay, so it also has the achievement chart, overviews, which I will point out in the following seminar webinar, and wrap it up here with a number of links. I know that Rod said there's a way to provide these so that folks can have access to it.
Yeah.
Perhaps without having to type in every word and letter. So we've got the
wide range here. Yeah.
Yes. So the Ministry of Education provides an information for parents. School Mental Health Ontario, I've already referenced. And then OPHEA provides some more physical and health education support. And there's the webinar series, in addition to what you are offering, and curriculum resources. So the lesson plans that are created, if you subscribe to OPHEA, go to the Teaching Tools website, and they've updated material so that you can follow and address this learning strands. In September, the healthy eating lesson plans were developed. and cannabis education resource. The new activity plans are up. And you'll see a green outline for things that have been changed and completed. It's really a good system.
Deniece, how do you follow OPHEA, just in case people don't know that? How do you, like, is there a cost? How does that work?
Okay. I don't know, it's usually a board-wide subscription.
Okay,
And
I have that.
I think so. I get all kinds of, for years I've been on. So
and the
I
only
remember how I
difference,
did it.
the difference right now is that OPHEA asks you to create an individual logon.
Okay.
And with the individual logon, you can print the lesson plans, and it also helps to inform some of the resources and tools that they create. You will see there are options to use resources where you don't need a login at all. There's a Cannabis 101 blog. Next webinar, I take you through some of the tools and the resources where you need a logon and where you don't need a logon, and into explaining some primary applications for the growth.
Well, Deniece, you have produced tons of great thought-provoking items, a great overview on what's to come. This is really helpful. Folks who want to provide some feedback, you can go to tinyurl.com/HPE1 LKDSB. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep that live because I know folks will access this on demand later as well. So if you want to go live on demand to this anytime, we'll just keep this going. We use this information to feedback. We share this back with Deniece. We share this back with our teams for how's this online environment working from the content and also the kind of method and mode in which we're connecting here today. And the final thing is, thank you. We appreciate everybody spending time, taking time to go through, to learn for the betterment of our students. We thank Deniece for taking time, preparing, and sharing her expertise with us. So Deniece, thank you. We genuinely appreciate your caring for students and how that comes across in this virtual learning environment. And we're looking forward to the next session. So until next time, we'll see you sometime soon. We got so yes, our school board is subscribed. So check. Great job. Lots of things in the comments. Great jobs all around. So I'm going to stop sharing and say thanks, Deniece. And thank you, Rod, for your background support as always.
Rod, you are an angel.